Actualmente, muy pocos tratamientos consiguen llegar al cerebro. Para superar esa barrera, los especialistas pueden administrar los medicamentos vía intratecal. Para ello, existen varias alternativas clínicas. Las nanopartículas son una de las últimas opciones estudiadas por los expertos internacionales.
Are protected by a barrier, and this is very essential because it stops viruses and other foreign organisms getting into the brain and causing disease. But it also prevents enzyme replacement enzyme getting into the brain. To overcome this barrier, there are several options. One is to open up the barrier using high oxygen tension, and that was used historically, but that is dangerous. You can't leave the barrier open for too long. Second approach was to modify the enzymes with a tag that is recognized by the blood-brain barrier as being something which it normally transports across, so it deceives the blood-brain barrier into taking it across. And the third approach is to deliver the therapeutic drug directly into the brain itself. And again, that can be done in two ways: an injection actually into the tissues, or into the cerebrospinal fluid, which is a fluid which goes all around the brain and is in close contact with the fluid that is around the brain cells. And so if you get material into the cerebrospinal fluid, theoretically it could be distributed all around the brain. And the way to inject into the cerebrospinal fluid is the process called intrathecal, which means injecting into the spinal cord where the cerebrospinal fluid flows and goes back to the brain. Also, you can do it by direct injection into what are called the ventricles, or the reservoirs of cerebrospinal fluid in the brain, right in the center of the brain. You're doing things on a very small scale, small particles, and these particles can be made to be hollow, and inside you can trap genes, proteins, and even drugs. And they are so small that they will pass through many membranes and get into cells. So I think you will use two forms of delivering the enzyme, but then also use these low molecular weight compounds as well, and they will act very quickly because they'll be taken and you'll get an effect, you'll get uptake very quickly. So I think you will see increasing use of combined therapies.